Okay, what's up guys, it's Chili here, and today we are watching a casted game of modded civilizations coming in from the Future Kingdoms pack. If you guys don't already know, there's going to be a tournament hosted this weekend, on Sunday actually. What date is that? That is going to be August 18th. So if you are around on August 18th and you want to check out an awesome tournament hosted by Killer Pigeon, definitely take a look at that. For some more context, the Future Kingdoms mod pack is a mod pack created by Hosein81 here, along with collaboration of a few designers, including Lammet, playing in the blue color over here, as well as myself. If you are taking a look at this game right now and you're a little bit confused about why there's a war elephant happening here with these Chinese-looking villagers, it's because Hosein is playing the Vietnamese civilization, and Lammet is playing the, well, it's not the Rus actually, although it looks like the Rus. This is actually the Scandinavians, a modded civilization that he designed, whereas the Vietnamese are civilization that I designed. And we're playing on the map Holy Island. I think it's called EGC Holy Island. I'm a little bit unfamiliar with this map because it is I think a tournament map more than it is something that you would see in the ladder. In fact, I don't think this is in the ladder at all right now, but it's been pretty popular because of its parallel structure. You can see that there's a lot of open water up top. We already see Hosein going onto the water with the docks, building a couple fishing boats. We see the same thing happening on the Scandinavian side as well. And so in this casted game, I'm going to go over some of the ways that these civs play and talk about like what we expect to see. Just going into, let me switch up the villager count here. Right now we see, who is this? Hosein. He's got 6 on food, 7 on wood, and 0 on gold right now. And on the other side of the map, we have Lammet with 8 on food and 5 on wood. So both players kind of going for a wood-heavy start, trying to get those fishing boats up. Everyone knows that fishing boats are pretty dang OP when it comes to Age of Empires 4. I personally have a lot of disagreements with how the designers of this game have worked and made the naval components, so I'm not too big of a fan of watching any kind of water maps, because just demolition ships are just, I don't know if that's the right way to go. Just you look away for a second and then all of a sudden your entire navy just disappears because you weren't paying attention. That just seems like a little bit of, I don't know, not that much fun gameplay to me. This elephant here, if you're a little bit confused, this elephant is actually a universal drop-off. This is a unique mechanic for the Vietnamese. So for the Vietnamese, they don't get access to standard economic drop-offs. They don't get your mining camp, your mill, and your lumber camp. Instead, they get something called the Economic Ministry, which is a 50 resource building that can research all of your economic texts and produce worker elephants. Worker elephants are a universal drop-off, very similar to the ox cart from Age of Mythology, if you're familiar with that game. So this allows the Vietnamese to have a much more mobile economy. You can see just now, Hosein finished chopping the trees here, moved on to the gold, gathered all the gold that he needed, and now he can directly go onto that wood. So it offers a ton of flexibility while not spending too many resources. At the same time, however, the worker elephant does cost 50 wood and 50 food. So it does cost quite a pretty penny compared to a standard drop-off structure, but you know, the fact that it can move, the fact that it can even fight, it even has a small attack, 6 damage, which is equivalent to what a villager does, means that you can do a lot of fun and interesting things here. Alright, we see Lammet building the 1-pillar pagoda, or not Lammet, we see Hosein building the 1-pillar pagoda. This is a economic landmark for the Vietnamese. He seems to be canceling. Oh no, he's sending all of his villagers to hit that scout. One thing that you'll notice here is that the scout is poisoned. Oh my god, and he got killed all the way this far out. So this is one of the things that makes the Vietnamese really, really powerful. Another scout going down over here potentially. All Vietnamese structures shoot poison arrows. That's one of the unique mechanics for the civilization. This means town centers, this means their towers, and it also means their keeps. And if you have garrisoned units inside of these structures, they'll also be shooting poisoned arrows. So it's a very, very strong passive, and I'm really excited to see what the players here will be doing with that. And personally for me, I just think it feels really good, because when I'm defending as Vietnamese, even knights going into my base, they can't survive that long, and it also means that if you're trying to fight the Vietnamese, you're going to be a little bit wary tower diving them potentially, or not tower diving, that's League of Legends. You're going to be wary TC diving them. On the other side of the map, we have Lammet going with the Hall of Odin. This is a landmark that I'm a little bit surprised that he's going for. Not something I usually see with this civilization. For context, the other landmark does give you infinite spawning shorefish, which is kind of insane. The Hall of Odin, in comparison, is a barracks that produces units in pairs with a 25% discount. So definitely good for pumping out these Viking raiders. This is the unique Scandinavian unit in the Dark Age, and I personally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be pretty transparent here. I disagree heavily with the design of this unit. It is a very weird unit that kind of does, it's good at everything essentially, or it used to be especially good at everything. Nowadays, I think Lammet did work with Hosein to nerf this unit significantly. But we're already seeing some action on the water. The Vietnamese do inherit the Chinese naval system, but they have one unique mechanic here, which is the bomber junk, which is kind of like an AOE bombing. Well, junk. It shoots AOE blasts from a distance, whereas on the other side of the map we have the Scandinavian Navy, which I guess has these really fast-moving longbows, very fast-moving there. I'm wondering what kinds of other things that the Scandinavians have. Actually, I'm not familiar with the Scandinavian Navy at all. We have just the standard 3 main ships, and some interesting texts here that seem pretty standard. I'm not sure if the Scandinavians do anything particularly unique aside from that. It seems to me like this is attacking a lot faster and moving a lot faster, but I don't know if that's actually a unique thing to this civilization or not. All right, taking a look at what else they're doing. Oh, am I on the wrong mod pack? What is this? Why is Lammet? Okay. He was doing the Great Migration for a period of time, but he seemed to have fixed himself. He is building a mining camp. Unlike the Vietnamese, the Scandinavians will have to actually build a mining camp on their gold. Let's take a look and see what's happening on the map here. We do see Hosein can see these Viking raiders, so these are not the unique English units, but these are actually Viking raiders. Viking raiders are kind of a busted unit in my opinion. They do have a charge ability, but which is very similar to the cataphracts. Look at that. We just see Lammet doing that. He charged right through and damaged all of these villagers, which is kind of insane. And additionally, these Viking raiders also have a shield wall ability, and so I think he's just trying to run out. They also have a very fast movement speed, something close to what a palace guard moves like, but the poison arrow is just so strong, taking down that armor here. Viking raiders do have +1 ranged armor compared to regular units in the Dark Age. In the Feudal Age rather, so this is a very strong unit. The problem with the Scandinavian design though is that the Scandinavians do not have access to regular spearmen. So what you're seeing here, this is all that they have available to them in the barracks. They do get some kind of men-at-arms in the Castle Age, but just the lack of any kind of spearman unit means that if you just go horsemen against the civilization, there's not much that they can do really, which I think is a little bit of an oversight in the design, and I've had a few conversations with Lammet about that. We're probably going to change that in the near future, maybe for the next future tournament, the future kingdoms essentially. All right, taking a look at the other stuff, we see these hideouts here. This is a unique Vietnamese structure. It looks like a Japanese tower because, I don't know, I felt like the Japanese tower just has a little bit more of a makeshift styling to it compared to the Chinese one. And what it does is it has +1 ranged attack, and it has poison arrows, just like all Vietnamese structures, but it only has 3 garrison space, so you can't actually shoot that many arrows coming out of this thing. At the same time, it's also cheaper, being only at 75 wood instead of at 100 wood, but it also has 20% less health, having only 600 instead of 750 health. So it's a weaker, but still good outpost for the Vietnamese. The main difference here though is that the hideout cannot research emplacements. So even though you get those poison arrows in the early game, which is really strong, in the late game you will have a much weaker defensive capability because you just don't have emplacements. You actually have to garrison your villagers if you ever want to shoot from them. Looking onto the naval side, it does look like Lammet has completely lost the naval battle here, and he does have a dock going up in the far back. I'm not sure how much I can do at this point. This is another reason why I just don't like naval maps in this game, just because it's so swinging. The player that wins water basically wins the game. At this point, Hosein can he's free to food boom, get all the fishing ships, get all this food, and there's almost nothing that Lammet can do to take back the water. You can see here that the ships can just go right onto this villager making this dock, and there's nothing they can do. Even if Lammet had, like, I don't know, 5 Springles or like whatever, like bombards, like trying to fight this, maybe that's a situation where he can try to retake the water, at least build a dock, but even then he needs to build ships. And that's a lot of resources to be spending on something that's not really worth it. We see this Viking raider coming out now. finally getting killed by this this tower here. Hosein might even want to put up a second tower here. At this point, he's in a really strong position. He has all the food economy he needs. He has all the wood economy he needs. He just needs to age up and just win the game at this point. At the same time, on Lammet's side, the one thing about the Scandinavians is that they don't have that many econ abilities. Looking at this, you might be a little bit confused about what this menu is. This is the Saga system for the Scandinavians. So one of the cool things about the Scandinavians is that each time they age up, they can choose from one of these technologies. So there's 1 in the Dark Age, 2 in the Feudal Age, 3 in the Castle Age, and 4 in the Imperial Age. And you just choose one, basically. That's kind of this unique system that Hosein and Lammet devised for the Scandinavians. And in this case, it looks like that the based on what I'm seeing here, he didn't take the plus damage for melee infantry, so that means that Lammet took the increased food gathering rate. So the other bonus here gives you a bonus regarding your bounty system. So the Scandinavians do inherit from Rus, as with all modded civilizations. There's only so much that we can change with the existing system. So we couldn't get rid of the bounty system for the Scandinavians. So for that reason, I think Lammet has gone around and killed all the deer on the map, meaning that essentially he's collected a ton of bounty. He's not making villagers right now. I don't know what's up with that. Am I just not seeing this? Maybe he's just forgotten to make. This is a significant amount of time to not make villagers. Oh, that's a little bit concerning. Looking at the villager count right now, we see 37 to 56. Lammet doesn't have the water. This is not a good time to not make villagers unless he's just giving up on the game or something and just wants to all in and focus entirely on that. 2 hideouts here will heavily defend this gold position. We see the poison arrows coming out. The charge goes through. 1 villager goes down, and the worker elephant is gonna go down as well. Not too tanky of an elephant, even though it looks like it has all that armor on it. It's actually not that tanky of a unit. We cannot affect the visuals in these modded civilizations, so we're just gonna have to accept what we have there. I think if Lammet goes into shield wall, he'll be able to tank up the archer fire and actually try to deal some damage to this hideout. However, the poison arrows do go through the shield wall, so I'm not sure if this scout might be dead as well. That's poison taking down, and he's dead. So no more scout for Lammet. Is he making? Okay, he's finally picked up making villagers. So a little bit of a self raid there, which is, we never want to see that. He did go for a wooden stave church here, getting the Hofgothi. Hofgothi it's an interesting unit. I'm not sure I agree with this design either. It's a feudal age warrior monk, but interestingly enough, it can spawn wolves. These are neutral wolves that, and if you spawn multiple in the same area, they'll actually attack each other. I don't know if Hosein actually fixed that or not. The wolves don't function all that well. The other interesting thing here is Thor's Fury. So there is a global ability here, which increases unit melee armor by 3 for 15 seconds. Not the most useful ability, to be honest with you, but the fact that it's a global ability is interesting, and it's pretty cool that Hosein was able to figure out how to even do that. One reason I don't know if I agree with this design that much is that this unit is not quite that consequential in the feudal age. So having it here doesn't do too much, and I'm just a little bit confused by that. At the same time, like it does allow. Oh, what the? Oh, okay. So you have to actually research and upgrade to allow the Hofgothi to pick up relics. I didn't know that. Okay, so there's a Christianity upgrade that allows the Hofgothi to pick up relics. I was gonna say that if you can get monks in the feudal age, this gives you a pretty unfair advantage. You can set up all of your monks in relic position. By the time you hit castle age, and just instantly pick them up. But it seems like that was avoided by adding this research technology, Christianity. Looking at the villager distribution right now, we got 23 on food for Lammet, and 12 on wood and 8 on gold. He doesn't seem to be going for an age up at all. This might be a feudal all-in. At the same time, if we're looking on Hosein's perspective, we do see that Hosein has 1,300 or 26 on food. A lot of fisher boats right now. Oh my god, he completely controls the naval. His boats are just patrolling this dock, this beach side. There's no way for Lammet to get a foothold into this. He's got a ton of wood gathering, and he has knights now. He already hit the castle age. Actually, I completely missed that. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, like the Scandinavians just have no answer to cavalry. The one thing that they do have going for them is these horned bowmen. This is also a unique unit for the Scandinavians. It is a armored archer type of unit. It has melee armor. I'm really not sure why it has melee armor. The +3 I think is coming from the Hulkcoffee's ability, which he just casted. I guess it lasts for, okay, it lasts for 15 seconds. So the Hornbowman has +1 melee armor and +1 range armor, which makes it a very, very beefy archer. It also has +1 attack, so just a little bit good at everything. At the same time, the Hornbowman is only... It's only about 10 resources more expensive than a standard archer. So a very, very... I think a lot of the power curve of the Scandinavians actually goes into the Hornbowman as well as the Viking Raider here. We do see that. Oh, this is really cool. So Hosein basically, he was under attack and he was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna move all my villager line over here. I have my worker elephant, my mobile drop off. I'm just gonna move over here, and I have no problem with it. Maybe he could have garrisoned into these hideouts and just like done tempered some damage over here. I'm not sure how much good that would have done. This is a significant massive units coming in from Lammet. At the same time, though, Hosein with the Imperial Citadel securing this gold in the upper side of the map. Imperial Citadel is a Vietnamese landmark that allows his units to actually teleport. They get the tunneling ability, so they can actually teleport over to another side of the map. I think he can actually teleport to this landmark right here. He could potentially surround this this ram with his teleport ability. We'll see if Hosein actually pulls that off. In just a moment here. Again, the Scandinavians do not have an answer to Cavalry, so this is going to be really interesting to see. It doesn't seem like Hosein is willing to move just yet. He's still massing. He's still biding his time. He's building these knights, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Meanwhile, Lammet still in no position to age up, so he does need to commit to this feudal all-in. One ram is not quite enough. He has enough wood for more rams. I'm not sure why he's not building more. A little bit of an oddity here. Is this charge going to happen? I think he's just waiting. He's waiting for these knights to come out. At some point, he's gonna turn and completely shift the balance. I mean, at this point, I think it's already clear. Like, Hosein's won the water, and whoever wins the water usually wins the game. There's not, like, this attack is, you know, it's doing a little bit of damage. It's killing some of these buildings, but it's mostly inconsequential damage. The villager count still is 73 on Hosein's side to 52 on Lammet's side. And the teleport comes in. The Rams are completely surrounded. They're going down almost instantly. And, oh, the charge goes through. That was a ton of food spent from Lammet. Keep in mind that each charge costs 5 food. And so we see knights popping in here, absolutely mowing down these Viking raiders. These Hornbowmen will not be able to do much against that. And the fact that the Scandinavians just have no spearman answer is, I think, a significant oversight in this design. We see that the Lancer just completely cleaning that up. I mean, granted that, I mean, that would have happened even if you did have spearmen, because Hosein's just so much farther economically. He's also in the castle age. These are feudal age units. There's not much that that Lammet can do here. So a few interesting decisions. I think the big area with this game was really lost was on the water, though. The fact that Hosein gets to just free water boom. He's actually building docks on the other side of the map now, fishing on this side as well. So 43 food gatherers compared to 7. This game seems well and over. The Vietnamese do not have any bonuses with their cavalry, historically speaking. While Vietnam did have a few heavy cavalry units, they were not very known for it. Their environment was just simply too dense and jungle focused. Not a lot of wide flat grounds to really allow cavalry to thrive. But this Lancer army would tell me otherwise. Maybe history is wrong, because this is just a massive and powerful army. Perfect counter to anything that the Scandinavians could potentially leverage. I'm just thinking to myself, like, why doesn't this civilization have spearmen? It seems like a very, very big miss. You cannot break the trinity of, like, archer, spear, and horseman. You got to make sure you have at least those 3 basics, because if you don't, the game will simply be over. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. This has been Chile Empire, and it's been a ton of fun. Catch all of these modded civilizations in the Future Kingdoms tournament happening this Sunday, August 18th, on Killer Pigeon's channel. All right, that's all from me. Stay frosty, stay chilly.